Maybe y'all was shrooming together, you was tripping, you know, and maybe you and your boys to see it. Or to see some beings or whatever. But you can't really expect it don't work like that. Like, you really want to get into it seriously. Like, I'm seriously into this. And I seriously have encounters with extraterrestrials. I've been seeing physical ones now in waking time and in the waking state. But I'm telling you what you must do. And I've been working at this for 10 years, over 10 years. So it's taking me a while. But I'm really seeing some stuff now. I'm impressing myself now. It's getting so deep. The communion and just the information I've been getting. I mean, I can see, like, I can tell, I'm like 10 years. I can see the next 10 years right now. Honestly. So much to say. So you got to go off into the woods. You got to go and be in nature by yourself. You got to find a wilderness, a park, something, somewhere. You got to camp out. You got to start meditating outside. You got to do this repeatedly, because you are tapping into what's called the realm of the undead when you deal with these beings. This is the realm of the undead. And according to the Necronomicon, and according to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and according to the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the realm of the undead must be remembered. It's not experienced. It's remembered. Totally different. So it's not like, ooh, there's an alien. That's called experiencing an alien. When you encounter an alien, you have to remember first and foremost that extraterrestrials did exist on this planet. You have to wipe your memory, first of all. When you get into this mode, I'm saying, you can remember once you come out the state. But I'm saying, this is when you're in the woods and you meditating and you're doing your ritual work. This is what you want to keep in mind. You have to remember who you were before you incarnate into this body. You have to remember your previous lives. You have to make yourself remember. You got to sit there. And until you can remember these things, you'll never experience an extraterrestrial, because they can only be remembered. They'll come up in your memory, and then you'll see them physically. You'll see them in your memory first, and then what's called your imagination. They may say you hallucinate and don't listen to nobody. I got a real good video coming on that for people that like to distract conscious people and make them feel crazy. I got a really good video coming for you. But you have to remember this stuff. And you can only do that by being alone in the woods and in nature, amongst the animals and the trees. You have to become almost like an animal. You have to put yourself in a state to where you become almost like an animal to experience this particular world that's coming and that's here. It's not coming, it's here. See, the reptilians, that's what I want to go. I'm going to go straight into the last part and I'm going to shut down. The reptilians have been defeated. The reptilians, as far as them being the king of extraterrestrial, everybody always talk about the reptilians and how they control everything. And, well, guess what? That's not true anymore. They're not the hierarchy anymore. They're still around. They're not extinct. But they're not the kings and queens anymore. The mammalians have took over now. I just got this and I just found this out. The mammalians have took over now. The mammals. So remember I told you that on Sirius there is a biosphere where the reptilians live, and then there's a part of the planet. See, Sirius, they got multiple beings. They've already went through their full disclosure thing. Once the planet goes through the full disclosure thing, we're going to live on the planet publicly with these beings, and you'll know where to go to see them and all of that. It's already like that now, but I'm saying everybody on the planet will know. Everybody will be initiated into it. Everybody. Or you won't be around. Because we're not going to have any type of racism and speciesism and all that has to go. So the mammalians have taken over from Sirius. They've conquered the reptilians. They didn't like the way the reptilians was running stuff, so they came from on high. And that's why the world you've been noticing, especially this year, it's been very unpredictable. I don't know about you or what you've been experiencing, but this whole year, even on the world stage, has been very unpredictable. Things go from night to day. One day, a person, seriously, this hasn't been for me. One day, a person will be your worst enemy, and then same year, and then 2 months later, this person your best friend. And they done helped you some kind of way. And that's because beings are incarnating in and out of these vessels that we think this is my body. Ain't no being incarnating me. I control this. That's a being probably speaking, making you say that. Because you have to, see, the thing is that what I'm trying to teach here is that you have to recognize and at least be open to the fact that this stuff can be real. because that will in and of itself help full disclosure to come all the way in. See, full disclosure is not just about the media and people on television. It's about the people, you accepting it. Most people in the media already are aliens. They already believe in it because they're aliens, or they got robotic parts. They're part of the Borg agenda or something. They Borgs or something. Drone something. So people on television, they already know. It's you. It's you that don't know. So the mammalians, they took over. The cat head beings, they have become the keepers of this new energy. Just like the reptilians ran things back in the day. As you notice, the snake was talking to Eve, so that's letting you know. Eve, basically, they went with the snake's doctrine. So the reptilians was running stuff back then. I'm saying on a lower level. Because, I mean, you got astral beings that run things all the time on an astral level, but we're physical beings, too, on a fleshly level. And on a fleshly level, we're now beasts. We're now the mammalian part has now taken over. And then that gene now dominates. So you have to remember, as a human being, you have the mammalian part of you, the reptilian part of you, and then there's the human being aspect of you, or the soul aspect of you. And the mammalian, so that's good. We've now evolved it. So now we're in the part of our consciousness, the animal part. And this probably has a lot to do with astrology. So you notice that in astrology, there's not a lot of reptiles as far as for the animal figures, for the animal totems. There's not a lot of reptiles. There's mostly mammals or human-looking entities, and there's a few amphibians. There's a few fish, like Pisces is the fish. Well, that's one of the glyphs for Pisces, but so just saying all that to say, so the mammals run everything. They done took out the reptilians. That means that what that means basically on a mundane level is that when you try to function on that part of yourself, that reptilian aspect of yourself, it's not going to work no more. You're not going to get the same results. It's not going to work for you. So those particular reptilian-based beings have to change now. And I'm going to start doing more videos on animals. You need to start watching more Animal Planet. You need to understand that thing there. We need to spend more time in the woods and in nature. All of the stuff that they told us not to do, we need to learn how to do. See, an animal is self-sufficient. Animals don't use money to make it. And I'm not saying you won't need money, because we still have to depend on our intelligent part. I'm not telling you to be an animal, but I'm telling you to embrace the animal part of yourself, which will actually, if you embrace the animal part of yourself, infuse it with the human gene that you have, or the fact that you have intelligence or the ability to make right or wrong decisions and free will. If you fuse that together, that's how you become an immortal. See, you can't just be spiritual, and you can't just be secular. You have to learn how to fuse the secular self with the spiritual self to where you control both selves when you do whatever you want to do within the realm of both selves. That's the goal. So when you talk about full disclosure, that's what you really need to think about, beloved, or what we need to think about. I mean, it's a lot more I could say, but I don't have the time to say it now. But I mean, the world is definitely changing. And what our children will grow up believing is true and then read in the school is not going to be nowhere near what you thought was true and what you read about in school. So it's just something to embrace, people. Full disclosure is here. I suggest you Google it. Shout out to all the politicians that finally went ahead and mustered up the strength to reveal this thing. The people, see, people always want to point the finger at politicians. I'm going to say this in the best of spirits, because I'm a people's man. I love the people. I mean, just like your boy said, I'm a people's champ, man. Like, I love the people, so no knock at the people at all. But in defense of the politicians, though, a lot of times the politicians are the way they are and say what they say because they don't know what the people will accept. See, a good politician knows that the popular opinion of the people is what God is. So that's why they say politicians is fake, because to a politician, God is what we all agree upon. That's how they think. You got to know how they think. So the people need to change. And you notice the people changed. And that's why the politicians start coming out talking the truth now. See, politics is going to have to merge into spirituality before this is all said and done. So I thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go ahead and shut this video down. And until we meet again, I'll leave you in Hotep. Namaste. And Wadu.